Hi, sweeties. How are you doing? Welcome to Cimnanya, and thank you all so much for all the love and support. Hope you all are doing great. So today we'll be talking something very important, and it's about Germany. Germany that came out from nowhere to show support to Israel over what is going on. You all remember that? There was South Africa took Israel to ICJ, and Germany ran out from nowhere to say that they are pledging their support for Israel. And Namibia said there is no way Germany will be saying something like this. Because if you all remember that in January 1904, right, Germany invaded Namibia and did what they did to their people. And you all know what they do when they invade people's, country, right? And in January 2024, the same Germany want to tell us what is and what isn't. Like what we are supposed to agree and what we are not supposed to. Like from nowhere, they want to be kind of like, maybe moral authority or something and all that. I wish the whole world, like they want everybody to forget about everything they have done to Namibia and some other people all of a sudden. And who even made them the judge? So Namibian president ain't having it, and she really came all out. You know what? Let's get into this video.
So the one thing Germany was not expecting to come out of South Africa's case at the ICJ was the fact that the world would now finally come to learn about the mass atrocities that the Germans, committed against Africans. The ones that they want you to forget. The ones that they will not acknowledge or atone for. How the Germans between 1904 and 1908 were in Namibia. How they called that land German Southwest Africa and then proceeded to systematically wipe out 100,000 people of the Herero and Nama communities. Namibia, who are South Africa's neighbor to the north, comes out with an official government statement and says to Germany, sit down. We know what you did. And they give dates. They say in January of 1904, Germany, you invaded our land and did what you did to our people. And now today, in January of 2024, the same Germans want to tell us what is and what isn't. The same Germans want to be some kind of moral authority that the whole world should get behind. The same Germans are siding with the people who are committing mass atrocities today. These people are unrepentant. They are arrogant. Germans were also in Tanzania. They called it German East Africa, committing mass atrocities. All these things have to come to light. We have to learn them, and we have to throw it in their face and tell them, look what you did. We remember.
Namibia has spoken up and condemned Germany for speaking out in favor of Israel in front of the International Court. For everybody that doesn't know, Namibia used to be a German colony, and this is where Germany committed the first genocide of the 20th century. The genocide of the Herero and the Nama from 1904 to 1908. This is where German forces back then took the lives of thousands of Namibians, innocent people who just wanted their freedom from their colonizer. Let's look at Namibia's statement together, shall we? On Namibian soil, Germany committed the first genocide of the 20th century in 1904 to 1908, in which tens of thousands of innocent Namibians died in the most inhumane and brutal conditions. The German government is yet to fully atone for the genocide committed on Namibian soil. Therefore, in light of Germany's inability to draw lessons from its horrific history, the President of Namibia expresses deep concern with the shocking decision communicated by the government of the Federal Republic of Germany yesterday, in which it rejected the morally upright indictment brought forward by South Africa before the International Court of Justice, ignoring the violent unalivings of over 23,000 people, and various United Nations reports disturbingly highlighting the international displacement of over 85% of civilians. Amid acute shortages of food and essential services, the German government has chosen to defend in the International Court of Justice the genocidal and gruesome acts of the government against innocent civilians in Gaza and the other occupied territories. Germany cannot morally express to the United Nations Convention against genocide, including atonement for the genocide in Namibia, while supporting the equivalent of what happened happened in the 30s and the 40s, and genocide in Gaza. Various human rights organizations, such as Human Rights Watch, have chillingly concluded that war crimes are being committed. The president also said no peace-loving human being can ignore the carnage waged against Palestinians. They appealed to the German government to reconsider its untimely decision to intervene as a third party in defense and support of the genocidal acts of that one country in the Middle East before the International Court of Justice. The First Lady of Namibia also said the build-up to the Herero-Nama genocide in Namibia, perpetrated by Germany, started on January 12, 1904. The absurdity of Germany on January 12, 2024, rejecting genocide charges against Israel and warning about the political instrumentalization of the charge is not lost on us. She said what she said. She said what we were all thinking. If you go to school in Germany, you should have learned about the Herero and the Nama genocide. That's part of the curriculum as far as I know in every single state. At least I learn about it, and every single other person I know also learn about it. And in that sense, you also get taught that Germany is kind of good at admitting their faults. They're so great now at being on the right side of history and, saying, yes, what we did back then was horrible, it's horrific, it can never ever happen again. Those poor Namibian people that we all hurt. And yet in 2024, you are being called out by those same Namibian people whose land you colonized, whose people you unalived, and where you committed a genocide, asking you to not support another one. They're telling you what you guys did to us, somebody else is doing to another group of people, and you're blindly supporting it once again. While I really much doubt that Namibia can sway the German government to do the right thing for once, it does show the world how willing they are to look every single atrocity being committed, as long as it is committed by one specific country.
In a remarkable act of poetic justice, the president of Namibia has called out Germany for pledging their support to Israel at the International Court of Justice. Germany did so to support the notion that they've learned from their wicked sins, but Namibia stepped in to remind them that they never atoned for the genocide that they committed against the Herero and Nama people at the beginning of the 20th century. They put in a statement with the title, Namibia rejects Germany's support of the genocidal intent of the racist Israeli state against innocent civilians in Gaza. They continue in saying the German government is yet to fully atone for the genocide it committed on Namibian soil. Therefore, in light of Germany's inability to draw lessons from its horrific history, the president expresses deep concern with this shocking decision committed by the government of the Federal Republic of Germany yesterday. More, they say that Germany cannot morally express commitment to the UN Convention Against Genocide, including atonement for the genocide in Namibia, as they support Israel's genocide in Gaza. Why is this important? What's happening in Gaza is a classic case of colonial violence, as was the Herero and Nama genocide that Germany perpetrated in Namibia when it was German Southwest Africa. Raphael Lemkin himself, the Holocaust survivor who coined the term genocide, said that colonialism was inherently genocidal, and it is. One of the core reasons that Western colonial powers like the US, Britain, France, the works, cannot call what Israel is doing genocidal is because that would mean they are required to atone with the own genocides that they perpetrated against indigenous peoples during colonization. And using Germany as an example, I wonder why on earth there's been no reckoning for the Berlin Conference. Or why Germany has argued that the Genocide Convention can't be applied retroactively to past genocides, because that's just, not fair to the people that perpetrate the genocides. And the reason is incredibly clear because, the colonizers got to stick together. Any admission of guilt could make Germany and other former colonial powers liable to claims from other former colonies. In my optimistic opinion, I find this significant because it leaves Germany with, I think, two options. They either just completely ignore the people they genocided, which, kind of a bad look, not necessarily meaning that they would stop supporting Israel, because they're not gonna stop supporting Israel, or they make some kind of minute admission to their colonial sins to be able to maintain at least verbal relations with Namibia. Small problem though. I would think or believe and hope in my heart of hearts that opening up any amount of colonial baggage for inspection would make the rest of it unravel very quickly, because if you open the can of worms that is Germany's atrocities in Namibia, then you naturally are going to be forced to reckon with Germany's atrocities in Tanzania during the Maji Maji Rebellion, Britain's atrocities in Kenya during the Mau Mau Rebellion, Belgium's crimes in Congo Free State under King Leopold, and also Belgian Congo, Italy's crimes in Libya during the pacification of Libya, France's crimes in Algeria during the pacification of Algeria, and these are all just the ones that I know offhand, right? There's countless more. And that is a can of worms the West obviously does not want opened, but I don't see how Germany responds to this. And I think that's a good thing. Namibia has put their genocidaires into a corner, and now they're finally going to be forced to reckon with the shit they did. And good.
So the one thing Germany was not expecting to come out of South
It's ironic how they talk about the Holocaust that was pertaining to the what you call it people that have took place in World War II. But there was books, and these are historical books, which they had to mark as historical fiction, and it was not a fiction, it was nonfiction, meaning it was actual facts. Within these books, they talked about how they did the genocide with the people of Congo and even people from various diasporas of Africa and with Kenya. And it's so ironic how we look at the West, and it's so ironic how the West made compensation for that community that was taking place in the 1940s during the time of World War II, okay? And gave them a transitional to go to Palestine to reserve there, okay? And give them an own government and made them be in charge of Palestine and give them the fruits of their labor. You understand? And meanwhile, there's no compensation for the people in the diaspora of Kenya, Congo. Listen to the sketch what that lady said. She said in the period of 1700 all the way to during in the 1900s. Okay? And this is come from the German community. The German. Okay? This was during before the Nazis, after and during. So I say to myself, when I made a video, and this is not about a competition, when they talked about that the blacks were not in the Holocaust and there was no Holocaust found with blacks, whether they came from the diaspora of Black American versus with people from Africa, what did this woman just finish telling you? And what is this book, if you read, telling you? Okay? And many other books. But it's so funny how the West become a blind eye when they try to eliminate the people then so they can steal their land. Okay? And TikTok tries to put me on community guideline, shadow ban me when I speak the truth, because I know that the government owns the TikTok app. Okay? Anything that Google and Apple is founded by the foundations of them. So they don't want certain things to be revealed. Okay? But I'm going to still press release it because I said it from the first day. Even though I read this book that I just showed you previously before called The Black Holocaust, which existed, and it's a historical, actual truth, how people from the diaspora of Africa, the original, whether they're from Kenya, Congo, wherever, okay, how they were making concentration camps to eliminate the people there so they could steal their natural resources. And I said it took place in Germany. But it's so ironic how the West gave compensation to the other society and failed to give compensation. And meanwhile, you're still seeing how Congo is still owned and they're still doing slavery and still doing genocide. That's why I wrote this song called Hot Box. Okay? This was in dedication to the people now. You see, I'm an old school. I believe in giving public announcement through music and not the type of music that people are bringing out today, which is hardly nothing that needs to be filtered. But no matter what, expression is expression. My song had basically talked about to get our people out the hot box. Get our ancestors and even the ones that's alive and existing today out the hot box. Get them out the mining fields. Okay, stop forcing them into labor and not paying them. And then meanwhile, you see people that's in higher elites wearing crowns of diamonds and gold, using natural resources to use for products, to make refrigerators, cell phones, even cars that's made out of battery machines. Okay? All of these things that we're living with each and every day. But even before these high-tech equipment, they were using these natural resources to build homes, make structures, even to capitalize on stock. And all these corporations made billions of dollars. You have people that built legacies like the Rockefellers, the Rothschild, Vanderbilt, and many others became rich when they used these natural resources to make modern technology back then in the gold age of making trains and airplanes and all kinds of stuff. When you saw people that owned TWA, Eastern, all this kind of stuff, which they all shook hands with each other. But meanwhile, you see the common people working on these lands, working on these backs every single day, and then they tarnish them just to eliminate them so they can erase their history. So I want you to listen to the commentator. I'm going to download her and post her on my app. Okay. And in case TikTok wants to turn it off, you hear a man whose name his name is Robert Takashiki, talking about how he owns mines and how he got rich by taking old stocks, old time stocks. What kind of old stocks he think he's talking about? The stocks that was invented many, many years ago. Capitalize on that. So if he has mining fields, just like the people that are in the Asian community, in the European community, and all over, especially the people that's the Dutch, the Germans, the French, the Spaniard, and even from England, if they the ones who own these diamond fields, what do you think they're making money off of? They're making money off of these people, our people, okay? They may not be our blood. They may not be traces of our bloodline, but they're still our brothers and sisters. So I like this woman's commentator because every time she tells the truth, and all their leaders, because Congo is supposed to be a republic, meaning that they're supposed to have full sovereignty. So why people are still under slavery? They're supposed to be anti-slavery. Emancipation was supposed to be signed. So why people are still in slavery? Okay. Meanwhile, the leaders, they play a blind eye because they're getting bribed. So meanwhile, they're showing the world about, oh, if it wasn't for the money and the resources, you had education, school, but people still are poor. Just similar to the United States, people are still crying poor. They will turn around and give you a tax lien for $200 and won't even wait for you to pay them a stipend or so. But they meanwhile want that $200 so they can take it and invest it into war. And I'm talking about from the federal government and even from the state tax. Okay? $250. Okay? And especially for a person that's have a fixed income. So you say to her, they will take the eye off of you, even to strip you off the blood off your back. Ladies and gentlemen, this world is not a world. This world is not owned by God. This is owned by man. And they do nothing but divide and conquer against our people. That's why I said, when we start talking about this and doing things to motivate ourselves, that's why I don't want to be on this app listening to people fighting on stupidness. When meanwhile, with all the confusion, which the government wants you to do, is a form of entertainment. But meanwhile, the distraction is when they turn around and stealing everything from us from a blind eye. And the people them from South Africa need to find a way to, if they're going to help the people in Palestine, they need to find a way to stop Congo, to stop those people from putting those people in slavery. The same justice you're giving to the people in Palestine, you give it to the people in Congo. You set them free. If you say you're a republic, all men should be free.
So this is all I got from this video, and I am really very happy that Namibian president actually came for them, because these people really think that I think really, sincerely speaking, Germany does not get enough of heat for all the things they have put Namibia and some other countries into. And with everything that they have done, all of a sudden, during this ICJ court, South Africa and Israel and Germany jumped out from nowhere to say that they are supporting Israel for anything that they are doing and all that, and Namibia came after them. And with everything going on all over the world, with the genocide that they are committing and the ones they committed that they never cleared up and all that. And I think that okay, first of all, before I say, I wanted to ask, why is it that they are also not paying reparations to Namibia for all the things they did to them and all that? Because I feel like Namibia deserves reparation from Germany. And now look at everything that is going on all over the world. It's just really a crazy person or a crazy country. I don't know how to put it, but if you are not crazy, how would somebody see everything going on all over the world? The genocide that is happening all over the world. It is happening in Congo, it is happening in Sudan, it is happening in Palestine and all that. And when you check everything going on, Israel is part of all of them. Israel they all got hands in almost all the genocide going on all over the world, right? Why is it that Germany all of a sudden from nowhere jumped out to support them? This really shows how these Westerners, how they stick together how they help themselves. I mean, the horrible ones. If you look at what is going on, if you see United States, Israel, Germany jumped into it, France, and some other countries, right? That are supporting the Western, like they are all Westerners supporting themselves. So it looks like they support their atrocities, because I don't see how a reasonable or a fair person or a human being would want to support the genocide that has taken lives of so many people, most especially kids. So for any hate they are getting or they are going to get from Namibia, or they are getting from Namibia, I am really supporting it. Let Namibia bring all their shit out together, because it looks like they don't get a lot of hate for all the horrible things they have done in Namibia and some other countries. See you all in my next video, and let me know what you all think in the comment section. Bye for now.